All right, Virgo, you are up. This is Tarot Lumination. That's you, Virgo, and it's with your August 2017 general report, okay? So August is a really important month this year, 2017, because it's all these new eclipses coming with the Leo Aquarius eclipse. You might have heard about them or listened or watched the North Node video playlist or something from Tarot Lumination, or something like that, or just heard about it through watching all the other tarot people and whatever, and the astrology stuff. But it's here, and there's no way out of it. It's a really big, important eclipse season because it's right on there with the North Nodes, kind of course. But also there's a ton of big, heavy retrogrades happening at the same time. Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto are all going to be retrograde through August, and Mercury as well, for a good chunk of it. So it's a lot of hurry up and wait. And it's the perfect, setup for this period of great change to happen, because you do not only have the eclipse energy of shifting and irreversible changes, you've got all the retrograde energies, which are forcing it even more. So like I've been doing with all the other reports, it just came spontaneously, but it felt the same way through every other report. The energy is all about refurbishment. So Virgo, it's like being Virgo Mark 1, coming in from out of July into early August, and then coming out the other side of August with a realization, oh my gosh, there's a whole new Virgo Mark 2 in the making here. And it's going to be a process. It's not just going to be a flick of a switch. The analogy we've been using is about, imagine you're on a conveyor belt, and then you enter that big black box like you have at the TSA state places at the airport, or going through a big, long car wash thing, and weird stuff happens inside there, and you come out all cleaned up, and then you get sparkleized and buffed down, and you become the new Virgo Mark II. Okay? So if you keep that sort of analogy in the background, that's kind of what we're dealing with here. And with the eclipse energy, if you do not let go of what needs to be released, it's going to be eclipsed out of your life anyway. So it's much healthier just to go with the flow rather than fight it, okay? So anyway, let's get on with your reading, all right? Cards were already well shuffled in advance, but we're taking it to the very last second, Virgo, so that you are a witness, okay? A clean deck. Now we're going to cut it just for you, Virgo. A very extreme cut, because we're trying to break up the energy and have a pristine deck for you. All right, here we go. Here's the general vibe for you. And here's where you're basically coming from, heading into this season. Here's where you are, like the perpetual now through August, and that eclipse season of refurbishment, the process actually heading into the black box and coming out. Here's you actually heading into it, going through those wobbly plastic curtains, and then here's how you're going to handle it while you're inside the box. And then here's what's coming at you, how it feels like of all the new downloads that are coming at you. And here's like hoping how this all works out properly for you, for the best possible new Virgo Mark II, and what could happen if it doesn't work out. In other words, if you screw up. But you're not going to screw up, Virgo, because you're at the right place at the right time for the right reasons. Tarot Illumination has got your back, okay? And here's where it starts to lead as you head out, coming out of the eclipses and into September and October and November. So this is a big, broad reading, and like the other signs, because it's the eclipse energy and it's triggering this North Node, and you have all these retrogrades, this is a very extensive reading. It might look just like whatever it is, 8 cards, but the energy is going to continue for months, okay? So back to the theme of the refurbishment. Let's have a look. What's the environment like? Okay, you might feel as though heading into this and going through it and coming out the other side, like you're being pushed up against the wall where, this is actually tougher than you thought or ever imagined. And you might have even got caught blindsided if you haven't done your homework yet about the eclipses in the North Node. Then you could feel blindsided, where all of a sudden all this stuff is coming at you, which is actually good for you if you look at it that way. This is the Seven of Wands. It's a card of courage and doing what you have to do to hold your ground. Okay, you're going to be just fine, Virgo, even though you might feel challenged. Okay, but the eclipses can feel very challenging because if you try to hold on to everything that needs to be eclipsed out of your life, it will feel like a challenge. If you kind of surrender and embrace the process and allow whatever is obsolete and redundant, your operating systems, your programs, your attitudes, your beliefs, your relationships, jobs, activities, hobbies, health practices, spirituality, just pretty much anything in your life that isn't working for you personally, it has to go. And it will be stripped away, if you try to hold on to it. So the thing is to surrender and let it happen gracefully so that it isn't such a battle. And you go through the process with a sense of humility and surrender. And you'll have a much easier time. So as you come in to the month, it's Virgo Mark 1. As you come out of the month, it's Virgo Mark 2. All right, let's have a look, the general vibe. So you might be innocent. You might literally be coming in with a sense of, wait a minute, why didn't anybody tell me about this earlier? I need to know what's going on. I'd like to know how all this stuff works. I'd like to do this properly because I'm a Virgo. That's what I do. I like things to be done in a very orderly way. And yes, I might be naive about this thing. I didn't really know how important and powerful the eclipses were, and I wasn't necessarily fully appraised of all these retrogrades and how they might affect me deep down at the core of my hard drive and my operating system and all my softwares and programs and browsers. I didn't know. I'm sorry. I'm doing the best I can. I'm a Virgo. I take care of things. I do things properly in a very orderly way. Thank you very much. But I'm just coming into it. Honestly, the energy is I wish I had done my homework a bit better, or I wish somebody had told me. But it's okay. You're going to be fine. It's okay to have a degree of innocence about these matters because, frankly, how many people check up on this stuff? Seriously? You look at the internet and okay, there's maybe a few 100,000 people who are tarot junkies and they do this stuff with tarot illumination and all the others. But when you think of the millions and billions out there who don't know anything about this stuff, it's okay. Statistically, Virgo, you would be a freak because you're just hanging out with tarot illumination. It's a kind of a strange avant-garde thing to do anyway. If you think about it compared to regular day-to-day life, who does this stuff? But it's okay, Virgo, you're in the right place at the right time. And a lot of us are going to feel very innocent and blindsided as we go through this because none of us have been through this before. This is happening right now, and it's full on in August. You've got the new moon, end of July. You've got the full moon, early August. You've got another new moon, Leo, at the end of August. And those last two, those are eclipses. So it's really, really strong, and you can't stop it. There's no going back. So it's okay. No shame in that, all right, Virgo? You're going to be fine anyway. Where are you coming from? Boom! Bash! Wallop! Yeah, you might have been blindsided. You might feel like, I wish someone had told me, and does it really mean that everything's going to fall apart? Everything? Well, sometimes, let's just, go back to the analogy of refurbishment and pretend you're like a computer. There's you, Virgo, the computer, the frame, the gadget itself. But inside, you have all these systems and things that live inside, like the hard drive and all the codes that live inside the softwares. And what happens is if a lot of that stuff is redundant, obsolete, riddled with viruses to the point where the computer is pretty much broken down, then that's kind of what this energy would be. So if, Virgo, you're feeling like coming into August as though it's almost like having a complete breakdown, it's okay. That almost would be expected. It's almost like the perfect place to be, because that means you can just like gracefully move into the refurbishment black box, get on the conveyor belt, get in, let all the weird stuff happen that's supposed to happen. All the obsolete stuff gets hosed away, washed away, removed, deleted, disinfected, and you get all the new downloads and the new softwares and the upgrades that you need to come out the other side. It's just that you might have already been coming in to the August eclipse season like completely blitzed already, and you might be even saying, oh, thank God. I mean, even though you might not have a full like comprehensive understanding of what's going on or how or why, it might be actually a relief to you, because deep down you might have been craving this moment in history without even knowing it, because you might have been living with a sense like not just one like monumental sudden spontaneous breakdown, but you might have been going through a whole series of tower type energies where like one scary, weird, horrible thing followed after another. It's almost like, you know, when a building collapses, not just all in one explosion, but like brick by brick by brick, and it sort of goes gunk, 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 gunk. So it's like multiple towers all in a row. But that's okay. It's okay. You can handle it. Don't worry, Virgo. You're coming in with that, but you're going to come out with something quite different for sure. So what about in the now? So in the now, in the perpetual now through this August eclipse season, what might be happening? Again, now, you can reinterpret this whole reading however you want. I'm just giving you the tarot illumination perspective. I try to do it from the heart, okay? A heart-based reading about the energy of love and heart as it moves through your life and through your world. It's a general reading. It's not love and romance. It's a general broad energy reading. So we read for the energies here, and we see it as a journey in the heart shape. Can you see? I'm hoping you can see this. Bear with me and try to pretend this is a heart shape. And you're living through it. And you're coming in a little bit innocent and naive. You're coming in feeling like you're already feeling the shock waves shaking as the black box starts doing its thing. And you can feel it on the conveyor belt as you're moving into the black box and like, oh my God, what's happening? What's happening? But the thing is, you might have already been quite broken down already before you even got on the conveyor belt, all right? So as you basically surrender to the process, what it does, it kind of rips you open and exposes you to the raw heart energy. It's just like the beating heart. It rips you open because in the end, that's the only thing that counts. If the heart isn't right, if the heart love energy isn't right, it doesn't matter about the rest of anything else. So what can happen is, as you go through this eclipse season, you might feel as though your heart is getting ripped open. And that's a good thing, because what they're doing is they're going in and having a look, and they're saying, oh, Virgo, this is awesome. You have such a big, warm heart. We can see it. You see, this is the Queen of Cups. It's just that it might have been surrounded by a lot of clutter and, you know, rust and, you know, obstructive things that just got in the way. It's like buried treasure. So you might discover, like, early on in August, you might realize that, oh my God, this is a very shuddery, shaking experience, and it's exposing, like, my Virgo heart energy. And you're realizing that you do carry a lot of love. You are a very loving being. You are very worthy of love and being loved. And that's very cool. But it might be, again, with this card of innocence, about like the mechanics about how it all works. It's just like, well, what do I do with all this love energy? I'm a Virgo, I should know. But on the other hand, the eclipses might be exposing you to the idea and the concept that you do own all this. You are full of love. You do have the capacity. You carry a magnificent chalice full of this, and you're only too happy to share it. It's just that you might not understand like the processes of actually how it works, the mechanisms of the universe, things like the laws of attraction, or like things we do on this channel sometimes, these concepts of be loving, be loved. Be loving, be loved. That might be a new concept to you. Instead of like, oh, is love something that I just go and get, or that I deserve, or I'm supposed to go shopping at a dating website? I don't know. It's different. It's not that. Love is very much about be very, very loving And then guess what happens? The love comes back, because that's how the laws of the universe work. It's the laws of attraction. So that might be kind of an awakening for you, but in a very beautiful way. You might actually be stunned at how much love there is flowing through your body, through your being, and you were just unaware because you might have been very distracted by everything else that isn't heart energy, isn't love energy. So it could be kind of almost like a giddy feeling, like, oh my gosh, I've never fully tuned into my heart energy before because it was so obstructed by things that were kind of irrelevant or just distracting. So maybe this is a good thing that the tower is happening here and all this other stuff is falling apart that you don't need, because it's going to make space for the new cool stuff to happen. So moving forward, okay, as you actually get into the process, pretend you're like going through that big weird black box car wash type thing. You're just going through like the flappy curtains, and then you're inside and it's all dark and spooky and weird stuff happens as you get refurbished and cleaned up, and they get in there and dig out all the crap and remove things that don't work anymore. What's that energy? Okay, with the Six of Wands here, it might be you realize actually very, very quickly, oh my God, I actually get it. I see what's going on here. I'm actually glad I got this little reading over here at one of these tarot places, because now I get it. Yeah, it was a bit of an awakening, a shocking awakening coming into the eclipse season, but it looks like you're going to adapt very quickly and very easily, Virgo, to the idea of becoming Virgo Mark II, as the old Virgo Mark I is becoming refurbished. And that could be a turn on. You realize almost like as soon as you get into the black box, it's almost like, oh my God, this is amazing, because Virgos can often be very turned on by these kind of processes, these kind of mechanisms, these kind of healing and cleaning processes, the purifications, the refining, all that kind of stuff, which is Virgo territory. So you might actually get off on the process of being refurbished, if that makes any sense. And it could almost like trigger that sense. So this is the card of the winner, feeling like, oh, I am appreciated, I am lauded, I'm praised. There's no shame here. There's no arrogance or pride. I'm just being appreciated and valued for being me and doing things in a really cool way that everybody understands and appreciates. And I get the reward. I get the applause, and that's very, very cool. But this is more for you, Virgo. This is more like you can applaud yourself. You can actually go give yourself a pat on the back as you very, very quickly adapt to the concepts of what's happening here through this eclipse, where you are being stripped down and totally refurbished. It's almost like, oh, I want to be a refurbisher. Like, I want to do that. I want to be the person who does that, because that's very suitable for you anyway, Virgo. You're very much like a healer, cleaner, purifier type of person. And this could resonate. The actual process could resonate with you, where you actually you think, I'm going to actually enjoy this. I'm just going to get stuck into it. I'm going to allow all the systems to work where they debug me, remove the viruses of Virgo Mark I, pull out all the obsolete junk and hardware, and start replacing with the cool new upgrades. So you're still Virgo, but you're going to be Virgo Mark II. So I'm happy for you, because then the prevailing conditions of feeling like you might be having to really hold your own against all of this stuff, it's not so intimidating anymore. In other words, like, oh, I thought it was going to be scary, but actually it's kind of cool. So how are you going to get through it? Let's just say you're inside the black box now and you're getting through it, and it's a trippy, weird, exciting, but also scary experience. How are you going to handle that? Bam! You're going to see it as, this is how I'm going to come out the other side, because now I'm coming in sweet and innocent, Virgo Mark I, and yeah, it was a bit of a shocker to realize that it was going to be such a complete makeover. I thought maybe just a little tune-up or a little buff and wax and polish, but no, it's going to have to be a complete workover makeover. But guess what happens? As you go through the black box of this eclipse season, and you realize what's happening inside. You get to understand the value of what's happening. This is the Ten of Pentacles. This is the card of like ultimate value, legacy value, value that lasts a lifetime, okay? So you can understand like, oh my God, each one of these discs could represent an old, obsolete system that has been removed, cleaned, and installed as a brand new upgrade. And it isn't just one, it's 10. It's the complete, utter makeover. So again, these are pentacles. So it's not going to happen just in one switch. Like you're not going to come out of the black box completely operational. You will be refurbished, but the becoming operational is a whole new thing, because each of these new upgrades, each of these wonderful, valuable new components of the full Ten of Pentacles Virgo self, the full-on brand new Virgo Mark II, each of them needs to be fully integrated into your new system now. In other words, there's a learning curve with each of these. How do I operate all these new upgrades? It could be complicated. There could be a long, slow process of integrating all the value of what happens during the eclipse process, during the refurbishment process. So that's cool. That's the way to handle it. Understand that it is a very long-term, extensive process. It isn't just the one-time flip of the switch. Okay, Virgo? And then you'll get through. That's how you will maximize the eclipses coming in August, all right? So let's say you go through it, you're going through it. So what does that actually feel like? What's coming at you? Okay, with the Wheel of Fortune here in this position, because it feels like there's a very strong sense of awakening here, where you're coming in one version, Virgo Mark I, and it's a massive transformational healing process where fairly soon in the process of refurbishment, going through the eclipses, yes, it might be freaky. It might freak you out as you get turned on and exposed to how it's really ultimately all about heart energy. But you intuitively understand how this is actually very good for you, and you're going to go through the process understanding that it is a work in progress and that there's a steep learning curve when you come out the other side. But the beauty is that everything was ordained. This is exactly how it should be. It's almost like you feel like it was fated. Like, even though this was like, you know, very predictable in terms of astrology, for example, you might feel as though it's just this massive fateful experience that just came to you out of the sky. And that's okay. And it's only understanding that all the elements, earth, air, fire, and water, are working for you, and everything is exactly as it should be, and that the wheel is turning in your favor. Yay! So this is a good thing. Fortune smiling on you. It might feel like that because you see these two cards together. Once you click, once the Virgo brain and intuition and heart energy clicks in and fully understands what's actually happening in the process, it's like, oh my God, this is awesome. I'm going to be so much better than I ever was before. And I deserve it. I was fated. I knew this was going to happen. I could just feel it. It's awesome. And I'm sorry if I was a little bit naive coming in and I was a bit like shell-shocked, but it's okay because I know it. I know it. I can feel it. I'm going to come out awesome somehow. But we don't know. This is the energy that's coming at you. It's just like a full-on embrace of like the energy of heaven, like lining up and working for you. And it's a blazing realization. It isn't just you getting remodeled or anything like that. It's a complete refurbishment so that you can almost like start a whole new cycle of life ahead. And that's what's going to happen because the cycle will unfold coming out of August into September and October, because this is a very broad reading with these eclipses. There's no way this is just going to be for a few days in the middle of the month. This reading is going to have a large impact. It's going to have a very broad energy field that's going to spill over well into September and October and November. So please understand that. And with the Wheel of Fortune here, you might feel as though you're getting swept along. in that new wave of being the new Virgo Mark II, but that's a good thing, okay? The thing is just to go with it. So since this can be such a almost like a disorienting process, especially coming into it with the tower here, but coming out of it and going through it, realizing it's actually very cool. What would you be scared of if this doesn't work, or what would you be hoping for if it does work? The little Two of Cups. Oh my God, I was totally caught by surprise, Virgo. I was expecting something totally different, but look at this. It's the little Two of Cups. This is not a love reading, okay? This is broad, general, and you can reinterpret if you want as a love reading, but what it can imply is that deep down, secretly, like, I'm a Virgo, and typically I'm shy about these things, but I wouldn't mind. It would be kind of cool and handy if, like, just as a side effect of this whole refurbishment thing, I actually get to experience true love, okay? The way it's supposed to be in the movies, but it's real. In other words, once this whole heart energy starts to pump and flow for real, unobstructed by obsolete, redundant attitudes, perceptions, and beliefs, and behaviors, and habits, and whatever, and history of pain and suffering, you'll realize that it is ultimately all about love, and hope that it's almost like I'm almost scared to say it, but it's like hoping you do find true love in the purest sense. It doesn't necessarily mean like a romantic relationship, but it means discovering what this cup, what this chalice of love is really holding inside. And what it is pure love, and it's the love of self and the love of another in the purest sense. It's like divine love, so to speak. It's androgynous love. It's not sexual. It's not romantic. It's not marital. It's not anything except like that perfect kind of sense of love where you see it reflected back to you from another from another. And it's almost like what we do on the show sometimes, where it's the energy of I am loving, I am loved. I am loving, I am loved. I am loving, I am loved. And guess what? That's probably what's going to happen to you in the refurbishment, because when you get exposed to the full heart energy and you come out the other side, you're going to have a very innocent, sweet, new realization, a glimpse of what true love really is. And it's not hooking up. It's not like getting married because, you know, you think it's the cool thing to do. It's just pure, pure love, okay? And hoping that you discover that is awesome. So secretly, Virgo, you might have been holding this wish inside of you for a long time, and finally now having a chance to get a taste of it, see what it really feels like, and then grow from there. And of course, it would be scary if this didn't work and this was never discovered. But the thing is, they've already ripped open your heart early on in August and through August. So there's no way out of it. You're eventually going to come to the discovery of true love anyway. There's no escape. So rejoice. It's fated. Let's just say it's fated. And that's going to make you feel like you're more than a billionaire, because I don't care how much money you've got here. True love trumps everything. You can take this to your grave and die and go to heaven knowing that you are loving and you are loved. This is wonderful here while we're on planet Earth, but you can't take this stuff with you, except all you can leave behind is the legacy of love. But this is yours and yours to keep, okay? So where does this take you? Wow, okay. It allows you to, like, it's almost like the excitement of being fired up. Like, oh my God, if this actually works, I can't believe this. I am going to be the most awesome Virgo Mark II I could ever imagine. In fact, I didn't even know any of this stuff was going to happen, but it's almost like I'm getting a potential prize here. Like, it's almost like you get one of those envelopes in the mail. It says, "Hi, Virgo Mark I. You have been selected to blah, 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 and you are going to come out of this as Virgo Mark II. Yay, congratulations." And you rip open the envelope and it's real. It's actually real. It's like winning the lottery, and you get so excited about it, like, oh my God, I've discovered love. Guess what? I want to tell the whole freaking world I know what this stuff is, people. I've discovered it. I know what it is. I can speak with authority because I know, because I own it. It's inside of me. I am Virgo Mark II, and you're going to know about it, people. This is the Eight of Wands, and it's almost like you're going to be shouting about it to the rest of the world. Now, it's not going to happen overnight, okay? This is a long-term process, okay? Going through these energies, it's a long-term process. So I'm excited for you, Virgo, especially the new Virgo Mark II coming out of this. I hope you get something out of this reading. I hope you read for your sun, moon, and rising and all of that. And just make the best of it, okay, Virgo? We're doing what we can here. If you get a bit wobbly, check in again, and, you know, we'll take care of it. That's what we do here at Tarot Illumination, okay? So you take care. Have an awesome August. All right. Bye-bye, Virgo. I'm happy for you. I'm seriously happy for you. Bye.